Hey everyone, it's Thursday morning, December 18th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. Alright, let's get started. U.S. stocks had a rough session as investors tried to figure out what the latest data means for the Federal Reserve and the path of interest rates. Technology stocks were clearly under pressure, and that weakness really picked up into the close. The Nasdaq Composite dropped about 1.8%, leading the sell-off. The Standard & Poor's 500 fell more than 1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped roughly 0.5%, following a mixed session the day before. The big story here was renewed anxiety around the artificial intelligence trade. Reports raised concerns that a major data center project linked to Oracle lost backing from a private lender. That added fuel to an already growing debate about how much debt tech companies are taking on to fund massive investments in artificial intelligence infrastructure, especially while questions about real demand remain unresolved. Oracle shares fell nearly 6%, and other large technology names followed lower. Nvidia dropped close to 4%, Broadcom fell more than 4%, and Google was down over 3%. All of this pressure put even more focus on Micron Technology, which was scheduled to report earnings after the bell yesterday. Investors were looking to Micron for clues about demand on the artificial intelligence semiconductor side, since the company supplies memory chips used in advanced server systems. On the macro side, markets are still searching for clarity. After weeks with limited data, investors tried to read between the lines of the latest jobs report while waiting for the next key release, today's consumer inflation data for November. Adding to the rate discussion, a Federal Reserve official said yesterday that the central bank may still have room to cut interest rates, pointing to roughly 50 to 100 basis points of potential easing ahead. In corporate news outside of tech, Netflix shares moved higher after the board of a major media company urged shareholders to reject a rival takeover bid, citing concerns about funding guarantees. And finally, some strong news after the closing bell. Micron delivered very solid results. First quarter revenue jumped 66% to roughly $13.7 billion. Earnings came in well above expectations, and guidance for the next quarter surprised sharply to the upside with projected revenue of around $18.7 billion and much stronger profitability than experts had forecast. So overall, yesterday was about pressure on tech, questions around artificial intelligence spending, and a reminder that earnings still matter. Alright, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again tomorrow morning for more market updates. See you then.